I am the son of a billionaire. Ask me anything.
I'm 29, and my dad's net worth is just under $2 billion, and growing fast. I won't share anything that could reveal who we are, but I'm willing to talk honestly about what life is like in this situation. It's a strange topic to open up about because almost nobody can relate, so it actually feels good to finally talk about it somewhere. Most people have strong opinions or stereotypes about the ultra-wealthy, and maybe some of them are true, maybe not. That's why I'm doing this. If you're curious, feel free to ask anything. I'll reply whenever I can throughout the day.
Why do people act like being rich is something to hide? Have you dealt with jealousy because of it? And what do you wish people understood about wealthy families?
I think being rich has become a weird don't talk about it topic. People expect you to feel guilty, so most just stay quiet. Yeah, I've definitely felt jealousy from others. Sometimes people don't see you as a person, just as a number, and they make assumptions instantly. What I wish people understood is that being wealthy doesn't automatically make you selfish or out of touch. My dad worked really hard and also got lucky in the right moments. And even though I didn't earn the money myself, it's not like I chose the family I was born into.
Your dad adopting? What's something you never had as a child, even with all the money around? A gaming console. Funny enough, computer games weren't included in that rule, so I still had a high-end desktop and laptop. Being obsessed with gaming didn't stop me. In fact, the first thing I bought with my own money was a PS2. Do you have everyday friends? What's a typical Friday evening for you? My wife and I are basically homebodies. Most nights we just play video games or binge shows together. When we hang out with friends, it's usually at a pub or at someone's house. A few times we've even taken friends to one of my parents' properties, but only after we really got to know them. Otherwise, unless I'm with my parents, my life is pretty much a normal middle-class routine. How did you two meet? High school sweethearts. Some things that money can't buy. What kind of car do you drive? I drive a 2014 Subaru Outback. Definitely not what people picture when they think of someone from my family. My parents' main cars at each property are a Mercedes GLS and an SL Roadster. They have a few others, but nothing over the top. Did your dad ask your wife to sign a prenup? How often do you speak with your mom, and which parent are you closer to? They suggested a prenup, but we never went through with it. My wife hates their wealth, so it's not something I worry about. My relationship with my parents is complicated. I'm grateful for what they've provided, but emotionally, we've never been that close. My dad's a workaholic, my mom's a socialite, and I spent years feeling like the odd one out. Things are better now, but most conversations are still just small talk or business. Are you any less miserable than we are? I've got my own emotional issues like anyone else, but money removes a lot of the big fears most people live with. I don't worry about bills or retirement or whether I can support my kid or if a medical emergency is going to devastate us financially. There are entire categories of stress that I'll simply never have to experience. Because of that, I'd never compare my struggles to the very real hardships a lot of people face. Pain is relative. It's not a contest. Your struggles are just as real and valid as anyone else's. Can I borrow $5? Might have said yes, but you didn't use the magic word. Foiled by my own crapulence. What would you do if your dad decided to cut you out of the inheritance completely? I mean, no money, no stock, nothing at all. Zero. Honestly, I don't think that would happen. My dad talks about it in a way that makes it seem unlikely. Their wealth is so diversified that it would take a major global crisis to really put it at risk. That said, I wouldn't blame him if he decided to donate it all. It's his money. I might be a little annoyed if he hyped it up, but I try not to feel entitled to anything. What's your job and why did you decide to go into that field? I work as a computer systems administrator for a small company. I enjoy it and it doesn't demand long-term high-pressure work. Honestly, I didn't inherit my dad's intense ambition and drive, and that's perfectly fine with me. Do you buy any insanely expensive digital items? I would definitely spend $10,000 on some iPhone app if I was crazy rich, but that may be one reason I am not crazy rich. Honestly, there's not much in the digital world that's really limited to the wealthy. The only thing I can think of is being able to pay for every streaming service at once. Favorite foreign foods? I'm not sure about a favorite, but I once had a beet salad in Russia that made me swear off beets for life. What would you say has been one of your darkest or hardest moments? One of the lowest points in my life was dropping out of college. I was really depressed and felt like a failure, especially comparing myself to everything my dad had accomplished. It took me a few years to climb out of that emotional hole. What's the richest thing you've ever seen someone in your family do that made you go, okay, yeah, we're definitely wealthy? One time my dad forgot he owned a car, like literally forgot. We were visiting one of his properties and he said, "Whose BMW is that?" And my mom just stared at him and said, "Yours?" That was the moment I realized my upbringing wasn't exactly typical. Do you ever feel guilty spending money you didn't earn? Or does it feel normal? I used to feel guilty all the time. I'd overthink even small purchases because part of me felt like an imposter in my own life. Now I've made peace with it. I didn't ask to be born into this, and I'm doing my best to live responsibly. That's all I can do. What's the biggest misconception about rich kids that's kinda true? That we don't fully understand how much things cost. I'm better now, but in my teens, I genuinely thought $200 headphones were normal. My wife has been great at grounding me. She'll hear a price and go, nope, and I'm like, oh. Most expensive thing you've personally bought, and did you regret it? A $4,000 gaming PC. No regrets at all. It's still my happy place. Do you feel pressure to be successful enough to justify your privilege? Absolutely. I spent my early 20s feeling like I was wasting my life because I wasn't building an empire. It took therapy and my wife to help me realize that being happy is enough. Do you feel like you live in your father's shadow? Not necessarily financially, but in personality, accomplishments, reputation, or expectations. And if so, do you ever worry you'll never measure up? Absolutely. Not because he pressured me, he actually didn't, but because excellence was the air he breathed. He's charismatic, driven, extreme. I'm quieter, more introspective, more human in a way. I spent years feeling like a lesser edition of him. Then I realized you can admire someone without needing to replicate them. His path cost him a lot. I don't want the bill that comes with that level of success. How would you raise your kids differently? Growing up, every need I had was met instantly. Tutors, nannies, drivers, programs, activities, except the one thing I actually wanted, my parents themselves. It's strange how you can be surrounded by staff, comfort, and convenience, yet still feel unbelievably alone. I don't blame them. They were products of the world they built, but I'm very aware of how that shaped me. So with my own kids, I want the opposite. Has wealth made your parents better or worse people? Honestly, wealth amplified who they already were. My mom became even more anxious, trying to control every detail of life because she finally had the means to. My dad became even more distant, not because he's bad, but because success became his whole identity. Money didn't corrupt them, but it magnified their blind spots. It made the good parts better and the weak parts harder to ignore. Did your parents ever use money instead of apologizing? Absolutely. In my family, sorry was something you wired, not something you said. If my parents messed up, the apology usually showed up as a new gadget, a trip, or an envelope, never as a conversation. When I was younger, I thought it was normal. I thought everyone's parents apologized with credit card transactions instead of words. But as I got older, it started to feel empty, like they were trying to patch an emotional leak with a luxury band-aid. Missed a birthday? Here's a new iPad. Didn't show up to my event? Here's a weekend trip. Said something hurtful in anger? Here's money to go buy yourself something. It took me a long time to realize those weren't apologies, they were distractions. It's easier to buy silence than to acknowledge pain. What I wanted was a conversation. What I got was a receipt. I don't believe you. I can live with that. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, my friends. And write in the comments what Reddit story should I do next.